Hey guys. Hola mi gente. I just really wanted to talk about journaling today. And oh yeah, this is the last line when I measured myself of how tall I am. No, I'm kidding. I scraped something against the wall when I was moving my furniture, so that's the line that's there. But I'm gonna paint my room at some point. Anyways, I wanted to talk about journaling and how important it is to your self development and to your spirit. I find that people that have been journaling since they were young know themselves a lot more. I think because when you're free and you're writing about how you feel, you get to the source of your problem much easier than if you were verbally talking about it. Because what happens is when you talk verbally, you're talking to other people, therefore their opinions come into your mind. But when you journal, you're talking to yourself. So you're getting answers from yourself and you're learning from yourself. You're sitting down with a paper and pen and you're writing. And to many people that have journals, they have something called what did my friend call it? Scribing, I guess, where it's almost like you're possessed for the moment and you just write, 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 write. And you don't know what you're writing, and then all of a sudden you look back and you read it and you're like, wow, I wrote that, right? That's a really cool feeling when you're writing because it's basically your subconscious takes over. Some people might say it could be other spirits or whatever. I don't know. I think it's your subconscious. It's taking over and telling you what you need to hear that nobody else is telling you because it's coming from within. You're actually guiding yourself with your inner knowledge and your inner truth on your path. And the reason I'm making this video is because I found my journals, oh my God, from like when I was 7 through now. And I didn't mean to find them. Like I knew they were there and I wanted to put some stuff in the box, but then things just started falling out. I always make copies of letters that I give to people and cards and stuff. So there was like a card that I made for my sister for her sweet 16, and I sent it to her on her phone today. Like I took a picture of it and sent it to her. I'm like, remember this? And she was like hysterical crying, and I was crying because it was so beautiful. It was like, you know, I remember watching Barney with you, and then watching you walk to school by yourself, and like just like all these really beautiful moments that led up to her sweet 16. And then I told her like it was, oh God, it was heartbreaking. It was so beautiful. Anyway, I love my journal, and it just reminds you of who you are when you feel like you're lost. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that like you see the ones that I first started with, and then the middle and the last few months. It brings you back to who you are because it's you writing to you, so that when you're reading it, you're reading messages that you wrote to yourself. Like I was always in tune and I was always writing for myself, and I always knew that my future self would be coming back to read this sometime so I could remember what my life was like and I can remember how I felt. Um, and I think it's so important for everyone. If you've never had a journal before, go to the 99-cent store, go to Barnes and Nobles, go online to Amazon, order whatever journal speaks to you. Like the picture of the journal needs to like speak to you at the phase that you're in your life right now, and just write everything. At the end of the day, this is what happened today. This is how I felt. Um, this is what I'm gonna do. Um, these are my beliefs. Like whatever you want to write, just write it down in your journal. It doesn't have to be. I write like what happened that day. Well, let me tell you. But I write it to myself. Like I'm talking to myself. So I'm like, okay, let me tell you what happened today. Well, blah 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 did this, and then she said this, and then he said that, and then this happened, and then blah blah blah, and da 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 da. And that's when I used to journal religiously. I've stopped journaling in the last 5 years, um, as consistently as I used to. Like, it's very inconsistent. Um, and then, especially when I was going through a lot of these emotional heart pains that I've been going through, this misunderstanding of unreciprocated love, um, I didn't write it down. I just wrote intermittently. But now that I'm getting myself back to where I was and where I need to be, the creativity and the need to journal is coming out again. And I need to record these moments and these feelings. So in the future, God forbid I ever feel like this again. Lord Jesus Christ, never let this happen again. Then I can go back and remember how I got out and remember why. Because when I was reading my journal today, I was like, why am I sad? I have an amazing life. And even when I like had issues with like a boy or whatever, I was so confident that I was like, well, he can't have all of this, Like, oh, I know he wants this, and I know like it was just, and I know that some people might be like, but I was very confident, and I knew what I had, and I knew what I was, you know, what I had, and I was just like, nobody's gonna get this. The guy who's gonna get this needs to earn it, and he needs to understand that I'm a gift from God, and that I'm like the best thing that ever happened to him, and he just doesn't even know it yet. And like, I feel like every person, man and woman, should feel that way. I don't feel like you should just be giving it up to everybody, and like you are a gift, and it's not your gift is not for everybody. Your gift is not for everybody. Your gift is for that one person that deserves you. The one person that you're going to make happy for the rest of your life, the one person that's proven that they're going to stick around and be there for you, and the person that you prove to be to them, you know? Like, I mean, everybody's different. I know this whole concept of free love and, love the person that you're with and love, you go where the love is, like all that stuff. Like, okay, I get that. That's just this generation. I probably come from another planet where monogamy is just understood. Like two people come and they melt, and they, the beauty that comes from it, in my opinion, is it's just the way that I was built. Let's just say it's just the way that I was built. I don't frown upon anybody and their choices, and I love everybody, regardless of how many partners they've had and how many people they've chosen to love and the choices that they've made, the decisions that they've made. I don't judge anybody. I don't judge you if you've had an abortion. I don't judge you if you've, left an abusive relationship. I don't judge you if, you have more than one partner, or you had to like cheat on your partner to find your true love, and your true love is the person that you're with for the rest of your life, but unfortunately you had to break the heart of the first person. Like, I don't judge any of that. Like, I listen and I learn, and I'm like, wow. Because in the end, I just want everybody to be happy, and sometimes in the end everybody is happier because of everything that happened. That makes any sense? But back to my journal. And I'm reading all these things and all the things that I've done and the people that I've met, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember that person, and like, yes, I remember this conversation, and I remember this happened, and then I'm remembering what happened, and then I'm reading it, and I'm seeing that what I'm remembering matches what I'm reading. It's a good way to remember things, because as you get older, sometimes your memory goes a little off. I try to document as much as I can so that I have a reference for later on, but also so that I know that I'm not skewed by my thoughts. Because there's this, okay, body, mind, and spirit, right? Let's break it down. Body, mind, and spirit. So you have your spirit, which you came with. It has your universal truths, everything that you know to believe that is real. You came here with a knowingness, right? Then you have your mind, which is a beautiful thing. It absorbs the information of the time that you're born in, right? So like if you were born in the 1800s, you would have to learn everything about the 1800s in order to survive in the 1800s and not get killed and learn the rules and blah, blah, blah. Same thing now. So your mind absorbs all these things. But since now there's so much access to information and media, you're also affected by what people are telling you, whether it's your family, friends, media, television, radio, movies, everything is like taking what your initial immediate family taught you, which is the family that you chose to be born into, what all their teachings were, what you came here knowing, and is now like whoosh, with what school teaches you, with everybody else that teaches you. So now your mind has all this information that your spirit, your inner truth is supposed to filter through to find out what works for you and what doesn't. But sometimes the mind becomes a little stronger than the spirit, and you start to believe everything from here and you forget the here, which is why there comes depression and sadness, anxiety, all this other stuff, because you're denying your spirit, you're fighting your spirit with the information that you get and the rules that are given to you, and you're like, but this is wrong. But you're acclimating to what the rules are and what society is doing, what the majority is saying, versus your inner truth and what you know, and that's causing problems. We're also very spiritual beings. We're full of love and light, and sometimes you love somebody and they don't love you back, and you can't understand that. Or sometimes you feel something and you don't understand why you're feeling other people's energies, or why you're feeling a premonition, or anxiety, or these dreams. And so people then do drugs and drink and have addictive personalities because they're trying to escape all these things that are going in their on in their mind and their body because they don't understand why this is happening, because it's not considered normal. But you're not normal. You're a special, amazing, beautiful spiritual being that's connected to the universe in a way that you can't understand. And it's so overwhelming that you don't know how to cope with it. So you start drinking and doing drugs and all this stuff, and you're escaping the reality because you don't like the reality, because it doesn't conform with who you really are inside, that you're denying because of what society is telling you. And journaling is a great way for you to write down what you want, who you are, what you need, where you came from, what you believe, why this is not right. You understand yourself, and then when you find other like-minded people who feel the same way, you already know who you are because you have written in your journal your entire life experience. Everything that you have come to learn to be true, everything that you believe is in this journal. And in that journal, you can decide who you want to be. And you can write your fantasies and your dreams and your beliefs and your hopes. And you can watch them manifest. Because there's something about writing versus typing. Everybody wants to type and save things on their phone. It's not the same. You know, writing with your hands is, there's almost like a connection, an otherworldly connection to something that comes from writing. Like they can see your thoughts and hear them, and it comes from writing and the connection that the writing does with your brain to the source, if that makes any sense. So I think writing is also important to manifest. I think the main purpose of journaling is to know yourself. Know thyself. It's what every single great philosopher says that. And how do you know yourself if you don't look within? If you're not looking at your actions and your decisions? And journaling actually allows you to write all of that down. And then you look back and you're like, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Like, oh my God, they must be so sad because I said this. Or this might, they might, this person made, this made everybody laugh, or this made everybody smile, or this made me happy, or this guy said this and it hurt me. So now you understand how other people's actions affect you. And it's like, yeah, you know that in life, but you forget with time. But with a journal, you can always look back and be like, wow, I remember when that happened. That really hurt me. I don't want to do that to someone else. You know what I mean? Let me not be that person. If you come from a place of love and light, if you come from a place of darkness, there's this constant war between light and dark. And the dark always brings the worst out of people. And the light always brings the best out of people. And I try my best to bring the best out of people, even though they sometimes bring the worst out of me. Which I didn't even know that I could have that in me, but I learned something new. And so now I'm learning a lot by reading my journal. I'm relearning everything that I knew that was in my core, in my heart, but I've lost because I'm listening to people who don't even understand me. Like, I'm just a divine being of beauty and light. And I'm not like everybody else. I never have been. I never will be. I don't even want to be. I'm a giant child. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just full of like happiness and joy. I just want to have fun and make everybody happy and just be at peace with the world. Like, and then I see people and they like knowingly cause pain. And it's like they create drama and they create conflict within groups. Like, they're like, blah, 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 blah. What do you think about this? And I think this person is this. And blah. It's like, why? Why can't we just all live in peace and be happy and laugh and, like, just enjoy each other's company? Very like 90210-ish. Like, why does it have to be so dramatic and chaotic and gossipy and, like, enough already? Like, this is not what we're here to do. We're here to prove that peace can happen, and we're here to prove that love, can conquer all. But then I want you guys to watch the show 100, which I'm going to make another video about. That's an amazing show. But that's about war and stuff. But journaling is really about you finding who you are. I'm just expressing to you who I am because I was just reading my journals again. But I think it's important for every human being on the planet to keep a journal. If you can write, keep a journal. If you can't write, draw. If you can't draw, do something that makes sense to you, or learn to write. it's so important to express yourself and express your feelings and get it out so that it's not all stuck in your body and turning into like cancer or whatever. Write, be free. It's your book, it's your information, it's your emotions as you go through them. It's you learning to deal with you learning how to cope with your life, you learning how to cope with your emotions, you learning how to cope with your feelings, you learning how to deal with life, your life, your life. I highly urge anybody who's watching this video, please pick up some loose leaf, pick up a notebook, and just journal and just write everything that you feel. Let it out. Get it out. Get it out. You know? And then as you write, you'll figure out your own way of talking to yourself and communicating with yourself. It's you and your subconscious having a relationship. All right? I hope this helps some people. I hope some people start journaling. I hope you guys learn more about yourselves and may you rock it out because we all deserve to be happy. And I think journaling will help with that.